Commander Ethan Carter looked at the holographic display, feeling the weight of responsibility heavy upon his shoulders. The Zoral Alliance was crumbling under the powerful onslaught of the Draxian Empire. These ruthless conquerors moved swiftly, leaving devastation in their wake. Ethan knew he had little time. He was aboard the human vessel, Orion, heading rapidly towards Arcanus, a planet now under intense siege. Around him, crew members moved quickly, carrying out preparations. Ethan glanced at his close team member's pilot, Samantha Turner, agile and sharp-eyed, and strategist Benjamin Diaz, calm and thoughtful, absorbed in tactical data. "We'll arrive in 10 minutes, Commander," Samantha announced clearly from the cockpit. "Understood," Ethan responded steadily. "Prepare landing protocols." Ethan's thoughts raced back to the urgent message they'd received just days before. The alien leadership, reluctant yet desperate, had requested human aid. Earth's forces were relatively new to interstellar combat, viewed with suspicion and skepticism by many in the galaxy. However, the Zoral Alliance, having exhausted all options, had no alternative left. As the Orion approached Arcanus, Ethan could see fiery battles raging on the planet's surface. Blazing explosions dotted the landscape, visible even from orbit. The situation seemed dire. "This looks worse than we thought," Benjamin noted quietly, coming to stand beside Ethan. His tone was cautious yet resolved. "They wouldn't have called if things weren't critical," Ethan replied, his voice firm. "It's our job now." The ship descended rapidly, piercing the atmosphere with practiced precision. The surface grew clearer, revealing sprawling devastation. Alien structures lay in ruin, smoke and debris marking their recent destruction. Landing zones, barely visible through the chaos, were hastily cleared. Samantha expertly guided the Orion to a gentle landing. Ethan stepped forward immediately as the ramp opened, exposing them to the hot, smoky air of Arcanus. A delegation of aliens, weary yet dignified, approached cautiously. "Commander Ethan Carter?" asked an alien named Ambassador Zorvan. His voice carried exhaustion mixed with hope. "Yes," Ethan confirmed confidently, extending his hand in a universal gesture of friendship. "We're here to help." Zorvan hesitated briefly before shaking Ethan's hand awkwardly, clearly unfamiliar with human customs. "We appreciate your quick response, Commander. The situation is dire." "Give us a full briefing," Ethan instructed calmly as they moved towards a makeshift command center nearby. Inside, damaged but functional displays flickered maps and battle data. "Our forces are spread thin," Zorvan explained urgently, gesturing to a strategic map. "The Draxians push relentlessly. We've lost half our positions in just a few days." Ethan nodded, absorbing the details swiftly. His eyes scanned the map carefully, noting strategic weak points and potential opportunities. "We must act immediately," Ethan said decisively, turning to Benjamin and Samantha. "Ben, prepare the initial strategic assessment. Sam, ready our aerial recon unit. We need eyes in the sky quickly." "Understood," they replied simultaneously, moving off to carry out his orders. Ethan turned back to Zorvan. "I'll need detailed reports of the enemy's movements, their strengths, and any weaknesses you've noticed." "We'll provide everything," Zorvan replied earnestly. "But you should know, Commander Carter, many in the Alliance doubt the effectiveness of your species. They fear this decision may doom us." Ethan's expression softened with understanding. Doubt is natural in desperate times. "Judge us by our actions, Ambassador. We'll prove our worth." As Zorvan nodded slowly, Ethan stepped outside to survey the area personally. The air was thick with the smell of burning, and distant explosions echoed through the devastated city. Ethan felt a surge of determination. Humanity had faced overwhelming odds countless times throughout its history, always adapting, always persevering. Within moments, the first reconnaissance drones launched skyward, Samantha's skilled hands guiding them remotely from the Orion's command module. Benjamin had already begun compiling strategic scenarios, outlining where they might best strike first to begin reversing the dire situation. Ethan checked his communications device, ensuring his orders were clear and concise. Around him, alien soldiers watched cautiously, uncertain yet curious about these newcomers from Earth. Commander Carter, a younger alien officer, approached hesitantly. "Do you truly believe your forces can change the outcome?" Ethan smiled reassuringly. "We've come prepared, officer. Humans fight hardest when the situation looks impossible." The young alien nodded thoughtfully, clearly encouraged by Ethan's confidence. Commander Ethan Carter turned back to his tasks, fully aware of the challenges ahead. Yet, as he looked over his diligent crew and the steadfast aliens beginning to gather around him, he felt a deep sense of purpose. The battle might seem lost, but now that humans were involved, Ethan knew they still had a chance. He was determined to make that chance count. Ethan Carter stood at the command center, eyes fixed on the screens filled with images from Samantha's reconnaissance drones. Samantha, seated at the control panel, skillfully guided the drones over enemy territory. Their small, agile forms darted, unnoticed high above, capturing crucial details. Benjamin Diaz stood beside Ethan, analyzing the data as it streamed in. "Look here," Benjamin pointed out carefully, drawing Ethan's attention to a weak spot in the enemy lines. "This supply route is lightly defended. It's an opportunity." "Agreed," Ethan replied, nodding slowly. "We hit them fast and retreat before they realize what happened." Nearby, Ambassador Zorvin observed their interaction quietly. His initial skepticism was fading slightly. Humans moved quickly, communicated clearly, and acted decisively, traits desperately needed now. Ethan quickly assembled a small, strike team composed of skilled human soldiers and willing alien volunteers. As they prepared their equipment, Ethan addressed the assembled team. "We're about to show the Draxians something new," Ethan began clearly and confidently. "Quick strikes, hitting them where they're weak. Remember, our goal isn't total victory right now, just disruption. Understood?" The team nodded firmly, resolve evident in their faces. Samantha joined Ethan, ready in her flight gear, a reassuring presence for those about to enter combat. Minutes later, they moved swiftly out of the command base, heading silently towards a targeted enemy supply route. Ethan led them, focused and calm. The tension was thick but manageable, as each member trusted Ethan's leadership. When they reached the target, the team swiftly took their positions. Ethan raised his hand, signaling them to pause. The enemy guards were minimal, unaware of the humans' approach. Ethan gave a sharp nod, signaling the attack. The humans and their alien allies surged forward, taking the Draxians completely by surprise. Ethan moved rapidly, guiding his soldiers with precision. Samantha provided air cover from a small, agile fighter, expertly targeting enemy reinforcements before they could reach the fight. The skirmish lasted mere minutes, swift and effective. The enemy supplies were destroyed, leaving flames and smoke in their wake. Ethan gave the order to withdraw just as enemy backup arrived, too late to prevent their defeat. Back at the base, the move was noticeably different. Alien soldiers watched, the humans with admiration and newfound respect. Ethan's team had demonstrated effective strategies and courage. Ambassador Zorvin approached Ethan cautiously, his face thoughtful. "Commander Carter, that was remarkable. Your methods are unusual but effective." "We adapt quickly, Ambassador," Ethan replied with quiet confidence. "It's how we survive." "Indeed," Zorvin acknowledged. "Your actions today have begun to change opinions among my people." Samantha joined them, her expression serious but triumphant. "We should keep pressure on them." "Strike again before they regroup fully." Ethan nodded thoughtfully. "Benjamin, what's our next best target?" Benjamin pointed immediately to another map, highlighting another vulnerable enemy position. "Here, a communication hub. Destroying it would severely disrupt their coordination." "Good," Ethan agreed decisively. "Prepare a plan. We'll move soon." While Benjamin began strategizing, Ethan took a moment to check on the team's well-being. Each member reported readiness, their spirits high despite the ongoing conflict. Ethan felt a surge of pride for both humans and alien allies alike. Short time later, Benjamin presented the new plan. Ethan carefully studied the details. Samantha, examining it closely, gave her approval. "We can do this. It's ambitious, but doable." "We move in an hour," Ethan decided firmly. Briefed the team immediately. The team quickly absorbed the details, ready for action. They were growing accustomed to Ethan's swift commands and clear thinking. The human speed and adaptability were becoming infectious. Spreading confidence throughout the alien ranks. Once again, Ethan led his mixed force towards the next target. As they moved silently through the damaged landscape, Ethan observed the teamwork developing between human soldiers and their alien allies. Bonds were forming quickly under pressure, and he knew these would become essential in the ongoing struggle. Approaching the communication hub, Ethan signaled his team to halt and assess carefully. Benjamin's intelligence had been accurate. Only a handful of enemy guards remained. With a precise hand gesture, Ethan initiated another rapid, effective assault. The hub fell swiftly. Samantha again provided precision support from above, eliminating any chance of a counterattack. Ethan and his team planted explosives, retreating to a safe distance before detonating the charges. The hub collapsed spectacularly, disabling enemy communications. As they returned victoriously to their base, Ambassador Zorvin greeted them warmly. His earlier doubt was now replaced by genuine respect. "Commander Carter, your people's courage and quick thinking have already begun to turn this battle," Zorvin admitted gratefully. Ethan simply smiled, determined to maintain the momentum. "We're just getting started, Ambassador." The battle was still far from won, but Ethan knew that now. Humanity had made a real difference. Ethan Carter stood quietly near the window of the temporary command center, looking out at the battered landscape. It was early morning, and pale sunlight struggled to pierce through thick clouds of smoke rising from battle zones. His team had scored important victories, but Ethan knew the real challenge still lay ahead. Benjamin Diaz approached quietly, standing beside him. "Commander, we've analyzed new reports. The enemy is adjusting. They're grouping for a major push." Ethan nodded calmly, turning to face Benjamin. "We expected this. Where are they concentrating?" "Their forces?" Benjamin indicated a large digital map showing enemy units gathering around a central point. "Here, near Arcanus City. If they take the city, they control the planet." Ethan studied the map, noting the city's strategic value. They had limited resources, and holding the city was crucial. "We can't let them reach it." "How quickly can we get there?" "Within the hour," Benjamin confirmed, his voice firm. "But we'll be outnumbered." Ethan's expression was steady. "We've faced worse odds. Let's move." As the humans and their alien allies quickly prepared, Ethan spoke to Samantha Turner, now coordinating air support. "We'll need your best work, Sam." "Always ready," Samantha replied confidently. She moved quickly to her fighter, already planning her tactics. Soon, Ethan and his team were heading rapidly towards Arcanus City. Alien troops, inspired by human determination, marched alongside them. Ambassador Zorvin was with them, determined to witness firsthand this crucial battle. When they reached the outskirts of the city, Ethan quickly arranged defensive positions. Benjamin skillfully positioned soldiers along natural defensive lines, using rubble and ruins as cover. Samantha circled overhead, scanning for the enemy's approach. Within minutes, the first wave of enemy forces appeared massive and intimidating. Ethan felt a rush of adrenaline, but steadied himself. "Hold your positions," he ordered clearly. The Draxian forces surged forward, confident in their strength. Ethan's team held their ground, firing strategically, taking advantage of Benjamin's careful planning. Samantha dove from above, disrupting enemy ranks with precise airstrikes. The enemy was powerful, but the humans and aliens fought fiercely together. Ethan moved constantly, encouraging and supporting his team. He fought side by side with the aliens, sharing the risk and solidifying their trust. Despite their efforts, enemy numbers began overwhelming their lines. Ethan knew they needed a bold move. "Benjamin," Ethan called over the chaos, "we need something drastic." Benjamin quickly pointed to a cluster of enemy vehicles approaching fast. "If we strike that convoy, it might disrupt their advance." Ethan agreed without hesitation. "Sam, target that convoy. We'll cover you from here." Samantha acknowledged instantly, maneuvering her fighter skillfully through heavy enemy fire. Ethan and his ground troops provided intense covering fire, drawing enemy attention away from her. Samantha released her weapons at just the right moment. A massive explosion erupted, engulfing the enemy convoy in flames. The Draxians faltered, confused, and momentarily disorganized. "Push them now," Ethan commanded swiftly. His forces surged forward, exploiting the momentary confusion. With renewed determination, humans and aliens attacked relentlessly, driving the enemy back. After intense fighting, the immediate threat receded. Ethan's team quickly regrouped, tending to wounded soldiers and reinforcing their defenses. They, aliens and humans, now shared a deep camaraderie, bonded by the shared struggle. Ambassador Zorvin approached Ethan, admiration evident on his face. "Commander Carter, your methods inspire our troops greatly." Ethan met his gaze, acknowledging the compliment modestly. "We succeed together, Ambassador." Benjamin joined them, holding fresh tactical reports. "They'll return, but for now we bought critical time." "Good," Ethan replied firmly. "Let's make sure we use it wisely." They spent the next hours strengthening their positions and planning new defensive strategies. Alien soldiers, previously unsure about humans, now eagerly listened and participated actively in planning sessions. Mutual respect was evident. Meanwhile, Samantha repaired and refueled her fighter, fully aware of the pivotal role she played. Benjamin continued analyzing incoming data, looking for any advantage they could exploit. Ethan made rounds among the troops, encouraging them and ensuring they were prepared. His steady leadership and unwavering confidence gave everyone renewed strength. As night fell, tension lingered in the air, but morale remained high. The team was exhausted but determined, ready for whatever came next. Ethan knew this unity, built under pressure, was their greatest weapon. He stood watchfully, preparing himself mentally for the next phase. The battle for Arcanus City was far from over. However, Ethan Carter believed deeply that together, humans and aliens could withstand any threat. In the silence of the night, he took a deep breath, knowing the next day would be crucial. He was ready. Early morning brought a renewed sense of urgency. Ethan Carter stood firmly, eyes alert and clear. The quiet moments before the enemy's return seemed short but vital. Around him, the soldiers were ready, both humans and aliens alike now strongly unified. Benjamin Diaz approached Ethan, holding the latest tactical updates. "Commander, they're massing again. They're bringing heavier artillery." Ethan nodded thoughtfully, aware of the weight his next decisions would carry. "We anticipated this. Prepare the defense teams. Have Samantha ready for immediate action." Benjamin quickly moved to distribute Ethan's orders. The soldiers swiftly positioned themselves, alert yet calm. Ethan's confidence and clear instructions gave everyone reassurance. Ambassador Zorvin joined Ethan briefly, looking determined yet worried. "Commander, the enemy seems relentless. Do you think our defense will hold?" Ethan's reply was steady, resolute. "We planned carefully. Our unity will be stronger than their strength." Soon, distant rumblings signaled the enemy's approach. Ethan watched as Draxian forces appeared, heavily armored and vast in numbers. Their intention to crush resistance was evident. Samantha Turner took off immediately, her fighter agile and precise, scanning for crucial enemy targets. Ethan communicated with her via a clear, calm voice through his radio. "Sam, disrupt their front line. Buy us time." "Understood," Samantha replied, maneuvering swiftly above the enemy forces. She skillfully executed precise strikes, hitting critical enemy vehicles and breaking their forward momentum. On the ground, Ethan and Benjamin coordinate defensive fire, taking careful aim at approaching enemies. Alien soldiers fought bravely alongside humans, their teamwork growing stronger every minute. Despite their best efforts, the enemy's heavier artillery began to break through, bombarding their defensive positions fiercely. Ethan quickly reassessed. Noting the new threat clearly, Benjamin, adjust our defense. Strengthen the center line. Ethan ordered decisively. Benjamin moved instantly, repositioning teams to meet the threat effectively. Even with adjustments, the situation became increasingly dire. Enemy artillery caused severe damage, creating holes in their defenses. Ethan saw the danger clearly and understood quick action was needed. Sam, target their artillery units immediately. Ethan called urgently. On it, Samantha responded sharply. Her fighter dove dramatically, releasing accurate attacks. Enemy artillery units exploded spectacularly, their threat temporarily reduced. Inspired by Samantha's courage, the soldiers fought harder, reclaiming lost positions. Ethan moved through the battlefield, encouraging and aiding his teams, always visible and supportive. Yet the Draxians regrouped again swiftly, determined and ruthless. Ethan knew his forces couldn't withstand continual assaults without a significant shift in tactics. Benjamin, we need to disrupt their command, Ethan stated firmly. Do we know their commander's location? Benjamin quickly analyzed new intel and pointed clearly to a distant area behind enemy lines. Their leader commands from this vehicle. Ethan immediately saw the solution. We strike that vehicle. Benjamin hesitated briefly, aware of the danger. Commander, it's heavily defended. It's our best chance, Ethan said with firm resolve. I'll lead this myself. Benjamin looked concerned but trusted Ethan completely. I'll prepare a team. Within minutes, Ethan gathered a small, determined group of humans and aliens. Samantha provided detailed air support instructions. I'll clear your path. Just get close enough to strike. We'll do it, Ethan reassured her, leading his team swiftly and silently through damaged terrain towards the enemy command vehicle. Under intense cover fire from Samantha, Ethan and his team approached rapidly, their movement swift and precise. Ethan signaled clearly, guiding his team expertly around enemy guards. Finally, the command vehicle appeared, heavily armored and surrounded by alert Draxian guards. Ethan gave careful, clear instructions to his team. We attack quickly and decisively. With a precise signal from Ethan, they surged forward. Samantha's airstrikes simultaneously struck surrounding guards, causing chaos and confusion. Ethan and his team pressed their advantage, moving in swiftly. Amid fierce combat, Ethan reached the command vehicle, placing explosives quickly and accurately. Fall back, he shouted urgently to his team. They retreated swiftly, protected by Samantha's continuous strikes from above. As they reached safety, Ethan detonated the explosives. The massive explosion engulfed the enemy command vehicle, disabling the enemy leadership. Enemy forces immediately showed confusion and panic, losing their coordination rapidly. Ethan's defenders, seeing the shift clearly, surged forward, reclaiming lost ground and pushing the enemy back decisively. Ethan returned to his command center, exhausted but triumphant. Ambassador Zorvin greeted him warmly. Commander Carter, your courage and quick thinking have saved us again. Ethan smiled modestly. It's the courage of all of us, Ambassador. Unity gave us strength today. Ethan knew the battle was not yet fully over, but today marked a crucial turning point. They had proven that together, humans and aliens could overcome even the toughest odds. The days following the decisive strike against the Draxian command vehicle were busy and intense. Ethan Carter oversaw constant preparations, aware that the enemy, though weakened, remained dangerous. He moved steadily around the base, encouraging both humans and alien soldiers alike. Benjamin Diaz kept Ethan informed with updated tactical information. Commander, scouts report the Draxians are retreating to reorganize. This gives us an opening. Ethan studied the data closely. Then we shouldn't waste it. Strengthen our defenses and plan our next attack carefully. Benjamin nodded and quickly began organizing the defenses. Ethan turned to Ambassador Zorvin, who had become a reliable presence. Ambassador, now is the time to motivate your people further. Show them our success. Remind them we can win. I will, Zorvin responded firmly. Your victories have inspired great hope among our soldiers. Samantha Turner joined Ethan, having returned from another successful aerial patrol. Commander, enemy movements have become scattered. They're clearly struggling without clear leadership. Then we press our advantage, Ethan replied confidently. Prepare the fighters again. We must maintain constant pressure. Samantha saluted sharply and returned to her aircraft. Ethan watched her go, proud of his team's resilience and skill. Throughout the day, Ethan coordinated defensive preparations. Alien and human soldiers trained together, improving rapidly in teamwork and effectiveness. The bond between them grew stronger, driven by shared goals and mutual respect. Late in the afternoon, an urgent message reached Ethan. Commander, scouts spotted unusual enemy activity. They're moving something large. Show me, Ethan instructed immediately. Benjamin quickly presented the latest images. Ethan carefully examined the new data, spotting large vehicles moving towards the city's outskirts. It looks like they're attempting a surprise attack, Benjamin noted gravely. Then we counter quickly, Ethan replied, decisive as always. He immediately summoned Samantha and briefed her. We need exact details on their movements. Get me closer visuals. Understood? Samantha acknowledged, swiftly taking flight again. Soon, detailed visuals confirmed Ethan's suspicions. The Draxians had mobilized a large force, likely aiming for a desperate final strike. We must intercept them, Ethan declared firmly. He quickly assembled a defensive force, including both seasoned fighters and new recruits, unified in purpose. As evening approached, Ethan led his team toward the enemy's expected route. They positioned themselves strategically, concealed yet ready to strike. Stay focused, Ethan instructed clearly. This battle could decide the outcome. Minutes later, enemy forces appeared, large and menacing. Ethan gave a signal, initiating the attack swiftly. Humans and aliens surged from their positions, engaging fiercely. Battle erupted intensely. Ethan fought side by side with his troops, leading confidently. Benjamin provided clear tactical guidance, ensuring each action was effective. From above, Samantha provided essential support, targeting enemy reinforcements skillfully. Her strikes were precise and timely, disrupting enemy efforts significantly. Despite their determination, Ethan's team faced fierce resistance. The enemy fought hard, aware their survival depended on victory. Slowly, the balance began to shift against Ethan's forces. Seeing the difficult situation clearly, Ethan quickly adapted. Benjamin, we need to change tactics. Can we force them into a narrow pass? Benjamin quickly analyzed the situation, pointing to a nearby valley. Yes, here. It's tight enough to trap their heavy units. Good, Ethan replied instantly. He coordinated the move, guiding enemy forces subtly toward the valley by strategic withdrawals. Once enemy units entered the narrow pass, Ethan signaled Samantha sharply. Hit them now, Sam. Samantha responded. Instantly, diving aggressively and striking enemy units trapped within the narrow area. Explosions rocked the valley, effectively disabling the enemy's heavy units. Seeing the success, Ethan rallied his troops quickly. Now, push forward. The combined forces surged decisively, overwhelming remaining enemy soldiers. Many Draxians began retreating chaotically, their formation shattered. After fierce fighting, Ethan's forces secured victory. Exhausted but triumphant, they regrouped, acknowledging their significant achievement. Ambassador Zorvin approached Ethan, visibly moved. Commander Carter, your leadership has done more than win battles. You've united us deeply. We united each other, Ethan responded warmly. Every soldier played their part. Benjamin and Samantha joined them, proud of their team's resilience. We've severely damaged their capability now, Benjamin observed confidently. Indeed, Ethan confirmed calmly, looking around at his brave team. But let's remain vigilant. This victory is important, but we still must finish what we've started. They returned to their base, spirits high. Despite exhaustion, the mood was hopeful and strong. Ethan knew clearly they were closer to victory, but final challenges awaited. Their unity and determination, however, assured him they were ready for whatever came next. Ethan Carter felt a sense of cautious optimism spread among his soldiers as they prepared for the next phase. Their latest victory had significantly weakened the Draxians, but the war was not yet over. Ethan knew that the enemy, though battered, was still capable of desperate and dangerous moves. Early the next morning, Benjamin Diaz approached Ethan with an important update. Commander, our scouts have located the primary enemy stronghold. It's heavily guarded, but their defenses are weakened. Ethan carefully reviewed the reports Benjamin presented. The enemy's base was a large structure, fortified but damaged from previous strikes. Taking it down would be a decisive victory. This could end the war, Ethan said firmly. We need to strike fast and effectively. Benjamin nodded in agreement. Our troops are ready, Commander. Their morale is high, and they trust your leadership. Ethan quickly called a strategic meeting, assembling his top officers and Ambassador Zorvin. Ethan laid out the plan carefully and clearly. Our target is the Draxian stronghold. Samantha will handle air support and strike critical defense systems. Ground forces will then storm the base, neutralizing any remaining resistance, Ethan explained. Assembled group listened closely, nodding their understanding and readiness. Ambassador Zorvin spoke with confidence. We stand with you, Commander Carter. Together, we shall achieve victory. Within hours, preparations were complete. Soldiers readied their weapons, vehicles were fueled, and Samantha carefully prepared. Her fighter for the crucial role she would play, Ethan stood before his combined human and alien forces just before the assault. We have faced great challenges together, he addressed them calmly but clearly. Now we move towards victory. Stay strong and trust each other. With determined faces, the troops acknowledged Ethan's words. Soon after, Ethan signaled the advance, and the attack began. Samantha took flight immediately, her fighter racing ahead, swiftly targeting enemy defenses. Explosions erupted along the stronghold's walls as Samantha accurately struck her targets, creating gaps for ground forces to exploit. Ethan led his troops forward, Benjamin carefully coordinating their movements. The soldiers moved swiftly, disciplined and efficient, taking advantage of Samantha's successful strikes. As they reached the walls, fierce fighting erupted. Ethan's team fought bravely, pushing through enemy defenses. Aliens and humans supported each other seamlessly, displaying a remarkable sense of unity and cooperation. Ethan moved steadily forward, leading by example, rallying his troops through the toughest resistance points. Benjamin coordinated carefully, directing troops efficiently to overcome stubborn enemy holdouts. Inside the stronghold, enemy resistance intensified. Ethan saw clearly that a final critical push was necessary. Benjamin, focus on taking out their command center, Ethan ordered decisively. Cutting off their leadership ends this battle faster. Benjamin quickly organized a dedicated strike force. Ethan joined them personally, demonstrating his leadership clearly and courageously. Navigating through the chaotic corridors, Ethan's group faced stiff resistance. Each corridor held enemies fiercely determined to protect their leaders. Ethan calmly directed his troops, strategically clearing each obstacle. Meanwhile, Samantha maintained pressure from above, targeting reinforcements trying to enter the stronghold, ensuring Ethan's team could push forward without being overwhelmed. Finally, Ethan reached the door to the enemy command center. He signaled carefully to his team. On my mark, we move in swiftly. He counted down clearly, then burst through the door, his team close behind. The room erupted into intense fighting immediately. Ethan and his soldiers faced elite Draxian guards, fiercely protective of their commanders. Despite the heavy fighting, Ethan remained focused, moving quickly and precisely. He and his troops gradually gained control, overpowering enemy defenders one by one. Soon the fighting ceased. Ethan secured the enemy commanders, ending resistance within the base. He quickly transmitted a message clearly and calmly. Command, center secured. Outside, Benjamin received Ethan's message and announced it clearly to all forces. Cheers erupted among the human and alien soldiers. Samantha circled overhead, signaling her own acknowledgement of their victory. As Ethan exited the base, his soldiers greeted him warmly, their respect and appreciation evident. Ambassador Zorvin approached Ethan, deeply grateful. Commander Carter, your courage and leadership have given us our planet back. Ethan smiled warmly, modest in victory. Our unity was the true weapon, Ambassador. Benjamin and Samantha joined. Ethan, exhausted but victorious. Commander, we did it, Samantha said proudly. The enemy is defeated. Ethan looked around at his team, soldiers both human and alien, celebrating their hard-won victory. This is what we can achieve together, he said firmly and warmly. Remember this unity. The day ended in quiet celebration and relief, with Ethan knowing clearly the importance of this moment. The victory had been hard-fought, but it had proven the strength and potential of unity between different peoples. Ethan felt deeply proud of his team and knew this victory marked the beginning of lasting peace. Following the defeat of the Draxian forces, Commander Ethan Carter watched as peace slowly returned to Arcanus. With each passing day, hope and normal life came back to the damaged cities. Humans and aliens worked together, rebuilding homes and repairing damaged streets. Ethan felt deep satisfaction seeing the cooperation and unity among them. Ambassador Zorvin stood beside Ethan, watching the bustling scene. Commander Carter, none of this would have been possible without humanity's support. Ethan turned to him, smiling gently. It was our combined strength, Ambassador. Together, we showed how unity can overcome even the strongest enemy. Zorvin nodded thoughtfully, understanding Ethan's meaning clearly. Your people have taught us a valuable lesson. I believe the Alliance will grow stronger because of it. Benjamin Diaz approached them, holding new reports. Commander, the rebuilding efforts are ahead of schedule. Our engineers and medical teams have greatly improved conditions. Excellent. Ethan responded firmly. Continue supporting the local efforts. Benjamin nodded and walked off to oversee more work. Ethan then noticed Samantha Turner approaching with several children, human and alien alike, following her excitedly. Commander, these children wanted to meet you, Samantha said warmly, her face bright with happiness. Ethan knelt down to greet them gently. Hello there. Are you helping with the rebuilding? A small alien child spoke shyly. Commander Carter, we want to. Thank you. You saved our home. Ethan smiled warmly, deeply moved. We all saved it, together. Your bravery and cooperation helped us win. The children smiled, inspired and proud, before running off to continue helping. Ethan stood up, feeling touched by the simple yet powerful moment. Later that day, Ambassador Zorvin called a gathering in the rebuilt city square. Soldiers and citizens gathered eagerly, excited and curious. Ethan stood quietly, prepared to support the ambassador. Ambassador Zorvin addressed the crowd clearly and confidently. Today, we celebrate peace and unity. Our victory was not just a military one. It was a victory for cooperation and trust. We are forever grateful to our human friends, led by Commander Ethan Carter. The crowd erupted into cheers, humans and aliens applauding together. Ethan stepped forward humbly, facing the crowd. Thank you, Ethan began calmly. But please remember this victory belongs to all of us. It shows the strength we have when working together. Let us continue this unity into our future. More applause filled the square, echoing Ethan's heartfelt words. Samantha, Benjamin, and many others smiled proudly at Ethan's modesty and genuine leadership. After the celebration, Ethan walked quietly through the rebuilt streets, greeting people warmly. He felt content, knowing clearly their mission had succeeded beyond just military victory. They had built a foundation of lasting trust and cooperation. Benjamin joined Ethan, thoughtful. Commander, our mission here has changed many things. I believe our alliance with the Zorro will benefit us for years. I agree, Ethan replied confidently. This unity will help both our peoples face future challenges. As the evening approached, Samantha caught up with them, her eyes sparkling. Commander, we've just received a communication from Earth. They're proud of what we've achieved. That's good to hear, Ethan smiled. This victory sends a clear message about what humanity can achieve with trust and partnership. The three continued walking, discussing future plans. They knew their presence would soon be needed elsewhere, but for now, Arcanus was stable and hopeful. As night fell, Ethan stood quietly on a hill overlooking the city. Lights twinkled warmly below, marking rebuilt homes and lives. Ambassador! Zorvin approached gently. Commander Carter, you have taught us much. Do you think peace will truly last? Zorvin asked sincerely. Peace is never easy, Ethan replied honestly, yet reassuringly. But as long as we remember our unity and cooperation, it will endure. Zorvin nodded slowly, clearly encouraged by Ethan's calm confidence. Then we will continue working together, Commander, always. Ethan extended his hand warmly. Zorvin took it firmly, a clear symbol of their deepening friendship and trust. Ethan returned to his quarters, tired but satisfied. Reflecting on the journey that had brought them here, he felt deeply proud of what had been accomplished. The next day, as Ethan prepared to leave Arcanus, people gathered once again to say goodbye. Their farewell was heartfelt, filled with gratitude and respect. Ethan, Benjamin, and Samantha boarded their ship, hearts full of memories and pride. As the ship rose gently into the sky, Ethan looked down at the peaceful planet below, confident. It was now stronger and unified. Commander, where to next? Samantha asked cheerfully. Ethan smiled gently, ready for the next mission, wherever we're needed. We continue spreading the message of unity. As the ship disappeared among the stars, Ethan knew clearly their work was far from done, but now humanity had a new role, bringing unity and peace wherever needed.